Hello YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to another YouTube video everybody. I'm so excited to have you guys back here all again. And today's video, we're going to be reviewing the next episode, also the 6th episode of WandaVision. This is a Halloween themed episode and I was pretty excited for it after what we got back in episode 5. And without further ado, let's get started with the review. Okay, so for me, I think the best thing that comes to this episode of WandaVision is that much like the first couple of episodes, from episode 3 to episode 5, they give us some very entertaining sitcom stuff. Because I feel like until starting at episode 3, as it was the first episode that was in color. I mean, we did get some color in the first 2 episodes, where at the end of the first one, where we had it like zooming out and it was on the TV, and then you had someone putting down a pen, and then in the second episode you have the helicopter, and then the episode ends with the show, with the world, with Westview turning into color. And just until episode 3, this has been just a great show because it's been giving us very good details and hints about this show. And let's just talk about episode 5. So right off the bat, I really liked Quicksilver in this film. Evan Peters as Quicksilver is just hilarious, much like what he did in the X-Men films. I thought that he brought a lot of great stuff in this film. He just was just really good. I really liked his character, so that's really one of the best things about him. He's not the best guy when it comes to, you know, being a good uncle for Wanda and Vision's kids, because he does some messed up things. Well, not messed up things, but like he teaches them kind of some weird things. Like he steals, basically, like, as this is a Halloween episode, he steals all the candy, and it's like Wanda doesn't think that's right, and he maybe he's just a uncle. I guess that's just what uncles do. But you know, people in the show call him like a man child, and it's true, he is a man child. And that's kind of why I like this version of Quicksilver much more than the one we got in Avengers Age of Ultron, because for me, I feel like that he's a lot more funner, he has a lot more quips to him, and while I did think Alan Taylor Johnson did play a good role as Quicksilver, he just didn't have many quotable lines. He had some nice relationship with Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch in Age of Ultron, and of course he did have a nice moment with Thor trying to catch the hammer, but it wasn't great. But I liked how they did a lot with Quicksilver in this episode. Also, as we get some of the real world stuff with Hayward, we get the scene after Hayward shoots the missile. This is a very good scene because we can kind of see that Hayward is kind of turning into the villain. He wants to end Wanda so that way this nightmare can end. It's a very weird plotline, and I heard in one of people's reviews for one of the past episodes in that people think that Hayward will be the future Thunderbolt Ross. Because if you've seen, like, in The Incredible Hulk and Captain America Civil War, Thunderbolt Ross, and YouTube, please excuse my profanity, Thunderbolt Ross is usually a dick. And Hayward in this show is also a dick. Because there's a scene, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a scene that he does, that he says to Monica about her mom, and it took it to a whole new level that I was not expecting, because, and that's how much you like this show. Also, when he's bringing out Jimmy Woo and Darcy and Monica out, and then they just start beating on them. It's like you have to see a series between these three characters. Like, they just have such good interactions with them. And then Darcy has like a good little moment where she's like, "Why didn't you tell me the plan?" And to be honest, I actually am liking Darcy in this series. Much better than the 2 Thor films that she was in back in 2011 and 2013. Sorry, let me take a drink of water real quick. But yeah, I really like the real world stuff, the sitcom stuff. Now, as this is the episode that takes place in the 90s, I'm not really the biggest fan of this episode. Now, granted, I really like how they really relate it. I really like how, as it is sort of actually a Halloween episode, I really like the way they do. Like as they are comic book as this is a Halloween episode and they have comic book characters, they dress up as their comic book costumes, and it's really cool. Like, you have Vision actually dressing up as himself, except it's just the more comic-y version of the costume, of his costume. And then Scarlet Witch actually wears, not Scarlet Witch, Wanda wears her Scarlet Witch costume. And then, of course, they bring in Quicksilver's costume, his hair that looks like Wolverine, his classic lion suit, and we actually get the tease of Wiccan and Speed. Well, we don't get the tease, but they start to get powers, and you can kind of see that it is Wiccan and it is Speed. So that's kind of what I want to take away from this episode. Oh, and just to let you know, I will be ranking all of these episodes when the 9th episode comes out. Probably on Saturday, though. On March 6th. But, yeah, this is a very good episode. Probably not my favorite, but we can move on to the bad. Alright, now when we move on to the bad, I can't really say there's, like, specific bad things with this film. It's just, as a 90s sitcom, it doesn't just really interest me all that much. Now, I was excited for it because I've seen a lot of promo clips, like promo trailers of this episode, and it kept showing, like, Wanda and Vision in their comic book costumes, and obviously that looks fantastic. But for the 90s style, and especially the theme song, I don't really think that it worked for me. Also, like, as they have, like, those little ads of the different decades, I don't really think this one particularly worked. It made it seem like some type of commercial that comes on during the Nickelodeon shows, and it just did not work for me. Now, the entire episode is pretty good, but just the way it fits in, some of the 90s stuff, it doesn't, I don't think it really does a great job of fitting the 90s, because, like, there's literally a scene where Vision, like, becomes his natural self, what he looks like in the present day MCU. And this takes place in the 90s. Like, this whole decade takes, like, the decade that they're in right now is the 90s. So why would they have him look like present day Vision? Like, this doesn't make any sense. But, the commercial was not really good. I would say this is probably my least favorite of the commercials. It just feels off-brand, and I'm like, what am I watching? Like, what kind of commercial is this? I mean, when it showed the skulls and everything, it did show at least something, but everything else just did not work for me. So, for me, it's a pretty bland episode. Not a bland episode, it just doesn't have many things I liked about it as much as the other episodes. And I was expecting this episode to be my favorite of the last couple of them. So that is my thoughts on WandaVision episode 6. Before I give you my final thoughts and my score, be sure to tell me down below what you guys thought about the 6th episode of WandaVision. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you right there in the middle? Are you seeing it? And have you actually started watching the series? Because if you haven't started watching the series, what are you doing? You better go watch the series right now, because it is a great, great show. But now, let's get on with those scores, shall we? Alright, so that is it for my WandaVision review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My Instagram name is Marvel6. My TikTok name is Marvel1Fan. Just to let you know, I'm filming this before I review Sinbad Legend of the Seven Seas. So, Sinbad Legend of the Seven Seas is a video I actually did post first. So, but Sinbad Legend of the Seven Seas, the filming is coming after it because I have not finished watching it because I've been busy with school and, you know, life sucks. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with the next episode of WandaVision. I'm not saying I'm not going to film more videos. I'm just saying I'm going to be next week with the next episode. So, bye.